back is good. Oh no, oh, god damn it. Hi guys, Beans here, welcome back to the channel. This week we are at Watkins Glen for our Coach Dave GT3 Series Sprint races. As you can see, somehow following on from our good fortune last week, we've managed to set a lap quick enough for pole position, doing a 1:45.037 with the Honda being 5 tenths slower. So we certainly had good pace around here. Unfortunately, we get a slow start and that allows the Honda behind us to sneak around the outside and take the lead, heading into the back straight for the first time. Now, if I'm honest, this race I was feeling very confident. The track and car combination was something I was familiar with, as I'd participated in a community event here before joining the LFM journey we are currently on, and it was through that community we actually found out about the low fuel motorsport platform. Heading into this long right-handed turn, we had a bit of catching up to do, as the Honda had definitely pulled away a bit quicker than I expected, and all I had to do was keep him in touching distance and not let him charge away with the lead. But I was trying to be fairly cautious with the tyres, because in practice the left side, front and rear tyres were degrading at a rapid pace, especially now seeing as the track temp was 43 degrees and the air temp being at 37. I knew I'd have to be as conservative as I could be, but tyre management at this moment in time is certainly not our strongest trait. So heading down into heel of the boot section, we're getting put under some pressure behind from the Mercedes. He has a look down the inside but thinks better of it and backs out. Obviously he doesn't want to take anybody out or ruin his race on lap 1. So as we head round turn 9, a deceivingly difficult corner in my opinion. It's a late apex, but using as much of the track on exit as possible without touching the wall, or you could lose a fair bit of time. Heading into turn 10, no braking required, just a little lift off the throttle until you hit the apex, then using all of the runoff area as possible, but being a bit cautious. We don't want any track limit warnings here. As we head across the line to finish up lap 1, we've lost one position due to our slow reactions from the start, but the Honda runs wide out of turn 1, allowing us to get a good exit and take back the position just before we make the long charge down the back straight. Now, as I've said before, and you can see by the telemetry in the bottom right, our left hand front and rear tyres aren't in the optimal tyre range. They seem to be overheating a little bit. Now, I'm not sure if it's the way I drive the car, but it's not ideal and it definitely affects the handling of the car. Heading into the bus stop, we bin it, losing the back end, but very lucky and fortunate to be avoided by everyone else, which I'm grateful for. But it's not exactly what we had in mind, considering we started in P1. Fast forward to when we catch up, down in P18, heading back onto the straight. The Ferrari pulls to the right and he lets us past. Maybe due to the fact that we were doing quicker lap times and we were catching. But I don't know, but I'm not going to argue, and thanks for the free position. So fast forwards again, we've caught the BMW as we cross the line to end lap 6. I make a move down the inside, managing to get it stopped, but the BMW gets a good exit, allowing him to make the charge on our right as we go through the sweeping right, left onto the back straight, giving each other plenty of space, but we're just that little bit quicker down the straight and we managed to stay ahead. So we are now putting all of our focus on the few cars up ahead. The next car's 2.8 seconds away and we're closing in on them lap by lap, trying to stay consistent with our pace. As we fast forward a few minutes, we've gained a few positions due to people doing what I did, losing control on the bus stop or just having battles. We're missing our apex here, we run wide, accelerate on the curb and it just spits us out, sending us into the wall, putting an end to this race. On to the next race we go then, starting down in P28. I was messing about with some things and I missed qualification, but we managed to get into the race and hopefully we get a decent result here. Being cautious as we're near the back and turn 1 is always a bit dodgy, so we're making sure ample room is given to other drivers. Giving the space to the Ferrari on our right, it compromises our run heading into the back straight, allowing the Nissan up the inside to take that position from us. Porsche up ahead seems a little bit cautious, looking like they lift off the throttle to give space to the cars up ahead, as this section of the track there can be a couple of cars that come together and quickly causes a blockage on track. By giving the room up ahead, that allows us to put the throttle down sooner, getting a better run onto the back straight, taking that position from the Porsche as we head into the bus stop. So as we cautiously make our way through the bus stop, a McLaren gets spat out to the right from what seems to be a little bit of contact from another car on his left. Steadily navigating our way around this right-hander, I'm not pushing too hard. I knew I had good enough pace around here, and I knew I could potentially get a decent result if I stayed consistent. I stayed on track and most of all patient. Managing to avoid a collision up ahead, we go around the outside, giving us the inside line into the toe, nailing our braking point here, which can't be set for the Mclaren, which runs deep, allowing us up the inside to take that position, putting us up into P22 as we head into the hill. A corner I feel like I struggle with personally. I just don't know how to take it correctly. It's very deceiving because it winds up a lot on the exit, but I always seem to push just that little bit too hard around it, usually resulting in a track limit warning, which we don't want personally. I'm trying to gain ELO and I'm trying to gain safety rating to progress to the next license category, but we find ourselves struggling to gain both. Maybe I should do the longer series races, as we are eligible if we keep our safety rating above 5, and the ELO multiplier seems to be higher due to it being longer races, I'm guessing. Making our way down pit straight across the line to conclude lap 1 of this race, if you look closely, there's a car off track, which, funnily enough, was the same person we overtook in the same fashion at the beginning of the video. They seem to really struggle with turn 1 on this track, but we capitalised on his mistake. Now chasing the pack up ahead, making up for lost time due to the lap 1 collisions, as we fast forward to when we catch up to a few cars, getting a really good exit here onto the pit straight, going for a move down the inside, as it's left wide open for us. We're going side by side into turn 1, hitting the 200 metre braking point marker. We get the car stopped, but due to having a narrow entry, our run out is a little bit slower than the Porsche, so not fully making the move, as we have to make ourselves as wide as possible to defend the position, and hopefully we can pull away. Heading onto the back straight, the next car's only 1.2 seconds away. The car gets a little unsettled by the curb, but luckily it doesn't cost us any time, and most importantly it still allows us to increase the gap between us and the Porsche behind. Fast forward up the road, we're closer to the Ferrari, but Mercedes has gone deep into hill, allowing us to take that position. Skipping to the back straight now, here we get a nice clean run carrying a decent amount of speed over the Ferrari, leaves the inside wide open for us. Here I am still behind him, but I was creeping up the inside, forcing him to pull out, brake early, and allows us to take that position as we make our way through the bus stop into the long right-hander. Now, as we skip a lap here, I feel like here is one of the main talking points of this video. These two up ahead that are fighting, they're battling for position, but the way the Mercedes was driving, in my opinion, was a bit questionable. Defend the inside line by all means, like I understand, but to make more than one defensive move into a braking zone is just silly, and you'll see in a later clip. But as we make our way around the right-hander, we get a good run here on the Honda. I thought about trying to make a move on the outside, but ultimately we decide against it. Skipping forwards to the back straight on the next lap, these two are still battling up ahead, and now the Mercedes makes a decision to go defensive and cover the inside line. Fair play. The Honda is in his slipstream, he's getting towed along, but you'll see what I mean by the Mercedes being questionable. He moves over to the outside more than once, but from here it's difficult to judge. So as we head into this long right-hander, these two compromise their line through the battling, allowing us on the outside of the Honda, and he yields the position to us. We leave enough room on the inside because, to be fair, I wasn't sure if he was going to try and dive bomb down the inside or try and get that position back, but we managed to make it stick. But up ahead, the Mercedes goes a little bit deep, but he manages to cover his line. Did think about making a move up the inside, but it wasn't feasible. So as we skip now towards the end of that lap, down the pit straight we get a decent exit, and the Mercedes goes defensive very early, giving us the racing line. But you'll see the Mercedes, he comes over back onto the racing line, and yeah, unfortunately we just rear-end him. But the weird thing is I didn't actually receive any safety rating warning or anything on a set of Corsa's side. So, but I did message at the end of the race and apologised and said, look, I hold my hands up, that was completely my fault. But as we head down the back straight now, going into the bus stop, I don't know what happened here. We've just went a little bit deep and tried to keep it together, but we lose the back end and we spin out, losing a few more positions again. And yeah, yet again at Watkins Glen we love throwing away our race, to be fair. So fast forward and now where we actually catch up to a few. We've managed to catch up with the Mercedes again. He's gone defensive, but not as defensive. So I've had a look down the inside and he's covered it. But then I've moved to the outside and he's covered it again. This is what I mean by being questionable. I'm all for defending your position by all means, but don't come across people, especially amateurs like myself, who make these silly mistakes during races. Skipping forwards then, the Mercedes yet again runs deep into tow, allowing us to make the move up the inside. As we battle side by side, heading into hill, he gives us a little love nudge, but hitting our braking points, we managed to get the car stopped enough to make the move stick and not allow him to make the switchback on the exit. Now, with the Mercedes close behind us, our main focus is now switched on the cars up ahead. But coming out of turn 9, the Mercedes behind us, he runs deep, hits the wall, slowing him down, giving us just that little bit of breathing room between us, which we need. So up ahead is another Mercedes. He's about a second ahead, but as we come around turn 11 onto the pit straight, getting a good run, we're closing the gap slowly. But currently lapping a second a lap slower than our best is not ideal. So heading into turn 1, the Mercedes here, he runs deep, giving us the ability to make a move up the inside. So as we make the move up the inside of this right kink, we're leaving room on our inside now as we go around the left kink. So from here, it's now a drag race to the bus stop. Obviously, we're ahead, but the Mercedes behind us is getting a tow. So we sit the car in the middle of the track, so we keep that position. And obviously, we don't want to compromise our line going into the bus stop as well. But pretty much after this overtake, we were slowly reeling in the other cars up ahead, but I ran out of time. A few more laps, I certainly could have caught up with a few more and gained a few more positions perhaps. But as we cross the line, that's going to conclude today's video. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care guys, see ya!